What up, Dead in the Sports? I don't even know. You guys don't have a name. Some other places have names. You guys don't have a name. I don't know what to call you. Anyway, what up, everybody? It's B and Ken. We're back with another week. Fantasy football talk, man. This will probably be an abbreviated show. We know the football game is going on, and we know you guys are anxious to get to that. But we just wanted to touch bases, kind of talk about our teams, talk about some of the crazy situations that some of you guys are in, and I know B has a situation with his squad. I have a couple of situations with my team as well because of the injuries that has occurred. So we're going to talk about how we're managing that and do another round of What Up, Doe, and we'll also do another round of Panic, Don't Panic. So before we get into all of that, B, how did you do last week?
Oh man, it was pretty much flip flop from week one. Week one, I was 5 leagues, 3 out of 2, 3 wins, 2 losses. This week was 2 wins and 3 losses. So, and we finally got a win in our joint league that we in together on Yahoo.
Yes, yeah.
My main league, this is a prime example of always go with my gut, man. And my gut was telling me to play Bennett over Travis Kelce, and I didn't. I still went with Kelce, and I lost by 5 points. And Bennett ended up giving me 17.4 points, and that would have been a difference maker right there if I'd have played him. And I lost by 5 points. So that was my main league, which now I'm 1-1. Crazy. This is how crazy fantasy football is, because in my main league, my $175 league, I started out, score 150, and this week I didn't even crack 80. So it just shows you how nuts fantasy football can go from week to week, man. You never know. We fantasy football people call this the running back apocalypse, because all, like you mentioned before, Ken, all of the injuries that went down this past weekend, man. So yeah, I felt out okay, man. I mean, me and you, we was eating with Matt Forte and our backs, man. Our backs was eating for us. Our quarterback was eating. Everyone was eating this week. So we couldn't be stopped this week. We could not.
Yeah, it's funny because I thought that when I looked at who we were playing, I was like, oh man, he still got such and such love. Yeah. This is actually closer than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Ball go, but yeah, we pulled it off. It wasn't as close as I thought it was going to be, thankfully, and I think we were playing against. He had Aaron Rodgers, and I have Aaron Rodgers in the league that I'm playing in with you. Which I'm 2-0. I beat one of the best teams in the league. Like, this dude got a squad. Like, right now, if his team stay healthy, I think he should actually win it all. And see, I believe in me, but I can also recognize other good teams. Man, if you got a squad, I'm gonna give you props.
Oh, you talking about Altman?
Yeah, Altman. He got a squad, man. This is the first time that I can remember him having a squad like this. He's won games, but he's gotten lucky in the games that he's won, because you and I talk, we look like, how is he winning all these games? And we know at some point, it'll run out. Some teams get lucky like that.
Right.
But yeah, no, when I recognize a team like the guy I'm playing in against in fantasy baseball, remember, it's the same team I told you a while back. I was like, yeah, I think he's gonna win it all. And he has a 70-point lead on me. So it's just I give props where props do. Now I want to win. I'm gonna do everything I can to win.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I can recognize competition, and I like competition. I don't want to mop you guys up. But anyway, if you guys have Gronkowski, put him in your lineup. He is playing if you don't have a suitable backup. I want to go ahead and jump into this real quick because Thursday Night Football is about to kick off in a few minutes. Here's the situation I was in, B, in one of the Dead End Sports leagues.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the here it is, the NFL team. It was a Dead End Sports East league. So, as you know, I have Brady and Gronkowski, and I'm just trying to go 500 until they come back. I managed to get a win last week, so I went 1-1. And just to quickly kind of recap what I did, my teams out of 27, I went 12-15. It was just a terrible week. I didn't even feel bad about it because I just know that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the CBS leagues that I have 12 CBS teams. I went 8-12, 5-5 in Yahoo, 4-4 in NFL, and 9-7 in the ESPN league. So my overall record is 26. No, that can't be right. Yeah, it's 26 and 18 is what I'm looking at right now, but I don't think that's right. I have to do the math on that again. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So I have Gronkowski, but I was in a situation where I needed to pick up a guy, and I wanted to pick up Dwayne Washington, who's taking over Amir Abdullah's spot. Now, I tried to get Jared McKinnon and somebody else, but somebody had a higher waiver priority over me, which I don't, so I had to settle for Dwayne Washington. I had to drop Jesse James to get him. So I place so much value on the running back that I have because of the injuries that are starting to happen. Mm-hmm. Take a 0 spot at either the tight end position or the kicker position. And I was just like, you know what? I'll just take the L, and Gronk could be back on the field in weeks to come, and maybe I'll get lucky and win. Because I didn't have anybody to drop. I have Devontae Booker. I don't want to drop him. We see all the running backs that are hurt. If C.J. Anderson goes down, guess who the man? And he's playing. Tevin Coleman. I have Devontae Freeman. I can't drop Tevin Coleman. I have Thomas Rawls. I couldn't drop him. And I have Will Fuller. I'm not going to drop him either. And then the other guys I have is Sammy Watkins, Marvin Jones, and Decker. And I have Charles Sims. So I had to play Charles Sims because whoever has Doug Martin, y'all need to holler at me. So it was really a situation where I was willing to sacrifice a L just to keep the guys I want and wait until they get healthy. Let's see this trade. So somebody proposed a trade to me. What's up?
Yeah, that one trade they proposed.
Yeah, he sent me. This is so. I hope you're watching. I guess on the face it looks like a good offer.
It was T.Y.
because they're saying they're trying to give me Jonathan Stewart and Michael Crabtree for Charles Sims and Will Fuller. That's really not a bad deal, besides the Will Crabtree thing. But Jonathan Stewart is hurt, and we don't know how those hamstring injuries will last.
Linger, man. You know how those hamstring injuries always linger, man. On these, especially in the physical sport like football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see, and he's in a situation because he has Matt Forte and Shane Vereen as his backup running back.
Ooh.
He has Derrick Henry, and Jonathan Stewart, of course, is hurt. So remember when we were talking earlier, and I said I'm taking on my bench a lot of running backs. I'm gonna put a lot of running backs on my bench.
Handcuffing, yeah.
Yep. And people were not doing that. I don't know how they draft, but now they're in a situation where they got nobody, and I got I'm sitting here like I'm the king. Speaking of, I did the same thing in the real NFL league we're playing in.
Yeah.
Through in Kevin Johnson's face, and I don't know how y'all let this happen, B. So in the real NFL. I have Aaron Rodgers, Julio Jones, Jordan Nelson, Latavius Murray, Jonathan Stewart, who's hurt, Matt Jones, Isaiah Crowell. I managed to pick up somehow this week Charles Sims and Jarrett McKinnon.
Oh, nobody was sharking? And what was
apparently not?
Was your waiver position high or was it like midway? Or do you remember?
You know what? I think I already had Charles Sims. I'm looking at all
I thought you drafted him. Because remember you
you're
like, I drafted Sims because I know Martin gonna get hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, so I got Jarrett McKinnon off the bench. So man. And so Adrian Peterson, he's out. He's out for the year. 3 to 4 months. And I had him in. I went and snatched up Jerry McKinnon wherever I could. If I couldn't get him, I snatched up Charles Sims if he was floating out there. Yeah, if I couldn't get him, I went and got Dwayne Washington because nobody was picking him up.
Yeah, I got in my main league because I got Danny Woodhead who's out for the year. So I dropped him and I picked up Fonzie Whitaker. And I was able to get the other guy from Minnesota. The last name began with an A.
Asiata.
Yeah, I got him. I picked him up. So just in case if McKinney don't do anything, he's gonna be the guy. So yeah, I got a couple of little insurance in my end too. I really want that Drake dude, but people that was in my league that had higher waivers, they end up getting them.
Yeah, and because I looked at him, I think that situation is a little murky in Miami. I think Jay Ajayi would be the guy out for an extended period of time. He's not going to play Sunday.
No.
But I think Drake has the higher upside, and that's why people going for him. I think it's also name recognition. But remember, last year they were high on Jay Ajayi. They just had an opportunity to bring in Foster, and they took it. Jay Ajayi was going to be the guy.
Yeah.
So he's not a bad guy to own. It may be a running back by committee.
Yeah.
Because remember, Kenyon Drake in Alabama, he wasn't the main guy.
Yeah.
He was a change of pace guy.
Yeah.
So he may not be able to handle the workload. All right, B. So let's talk through a situation I have. Last weekend, I played Sammy Watkins, and you told me not to. Marvin Jones went for 100, and Sammy Watkins only had 20.
Told you.
I still managed to win. Yeah, I managed to win by 3, thank goodness.
Woo.
But I wouldn't have had to done that if I would have listened. So anyway, Sammy Watkins, there's still some concerns with him. And I'm looking at, on my bench, Fuller, who plays tonight, actually, or Sammy Watkins.
And
I might have to play Fuller, dog, because
I was about to say, yeah, you might have to go with Fuller.
They're saying he might not even play. But here's the thing. So if Sammy Watkins is out, I could just put Marvin Jones in as the wideout, and then in my flats, I can.
Do you don't have a running back you can possibly put in at the flex, or that you feel comfortable putting in at the flex?
Can't stay healthy, and Carroll is talking to Christian Michael like he's the man.
Wow, really?
Because Malcolm Butler is going to grab somebody. And you know Belichick is a mastermind when it comes to shutting people down.
Yep.
So I'm concerned about Will Fuller. They know about him. So my concern is, I have to play him in some other teams that I have him in. So I'm not worried about missing out on any production. But man, let me do a search for Sammy.
Who are the Bills playing this week?
Arizona. So that could get away from him. So if it gets away, they could either bench Watkins so he don't hurt himself, or they're gonna have to throw to get catch up. And I have that Tyrod Taylor Sammy Watkins matchup too.
Oh, you do? So that's why you kind of iffy.
Yeah.
That's why you iffy on.
So they're saying there's heightened concern for Sammy Watkins' availability this weekend. Yep.
All right, so I want to talk about something for a quick second because
go ahead. I gotta shut this noise off. I'm listening. I'm right in the kitchen.
Okay, because if people don't know, in the real NFL, the competitive league that me and myself and Ken are in, we're playing against each other this week, and we're both 2-0, and I think we're both leading the leagues in points too, if I'm not mistaken. If we're not, is either one of us is like 1 and the other one is 3. But we play against each other, and this is the matchups. I want to give y'all a rundown of the matchups. He got Aaron Rodgers. I got Phillip Rivers. I got Antonio Brown. He got Julio Jones. I got Landry, and he got Nelson. I got DeMarco Murray. He got Chris Sims. We know Sims about to be the horse. I got McCoy. He got Latavius Murray. I got Gates at tight end. He got Cook. I'm not really worried about Cook. I got D'Angelo Williams, even though I think Bell is back this week, but I think Williams he's gonna still get a nice chunk of workload, because you can't just go from him balling the way he's balling to just completely just going with all Bell, because Bell got to get back into the swing of things anyway. And he got Kelvin Benjamin at the flex. And he got Green Bay defense and Cincinnati defense. They're both based on projections, I'm favored. But we all can't never go by projections because they projected me to still score 124 and you to hit 114. But I think my only concern is Julio going Monday night because I don't have no one going Monday night. So my thinking is if I can at least be up by like 25 or 30 going into Monday night, I would feel comfortable. I feel good about me getting the win. But if I'm only up by like 7, 8 going into Monday night, I'm going to be nervous. I'm going to be shivering because for me, that many people that knows, I know besides myself, and I know Ken knows this is really, I consider the first 3 weeks of fantasy football more like preseason to me. You're getting warmed up. You got all your guys in place. The real season, the real fantasy football season starts when these bye weeks start kicking in because now you got to really utilize your bench. And this is why it's important to draft when you in these late drafts, not just get up and go away and not worry about it. You got to pick the right guys you think that's going to play because when these bye weeks start kicking in, you got to start, you ain't going to have your Antonio Browns playing. You ain't going to have your guys that's giving you a consistent 25 points a week not playing. So you really got to start learning how to plug in the right guys and playing right. So I think come what's the bye weeks? Week 4 through week 12. And normally typically a regular season in fantasy football is from week 1 through week 13. So you figure weeks 4 through 12, you come back that 12th week. You're going into the final week of your season after all the bye weeks is done. So we getting ready. This is the final week of preseason that I call it. We getting ready to get into the real fantasy football season because now you got to learn how to maneuver your team around these bye weeks. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm glad I'm playing Ken while we still got all our full team before we start getting to these bye weeks because this week is I'm really gonna measure see how good my team really is since we're both 2-0.
Yeah, make sure my mic is open. Yeah, so my situation, I'm looking at this. Here's how I look at our matchup. Yeah, of course, I'm looking at Julio. He's questionable. My concern is who am I going to start at running back? I'm not playing LeGarrette Blount tonight. Not against Houston, not on a short week, and not with Jacoby Brissett starting. I'm just not going to do it. So, but I have Sims and I have McKinnon. So who do I bench Murray for? Or do I even bench Murray in favor of McKinnon? So that's where I'm at. And then I have Matt Jones, who's projected to get 10. Isaiah Crowell is projected. So I got all these running back options, and I'm trying to figure out what's going to be the best one with the best matchup. So I may play the matchups there, but yeah, you're projected to win this one, but something is going to happen.
Yeah, and see, and I'm really iffy on going with Ware and benching McCoy. I don't know. It's like McCoy just hasn't been like just really eye-popping so far this season, man. I don't know.
He does that, though.
I know. And it's like, I feel like the one time I bench him, well, not really because I benched him, what was that, last week when they had a Thursday night, he only got like, I think 8 points or whatever. So he didn't get what he was projected to get. Like he was projected to get 13 points. I don't think he's going to get that. I really don't think he's going to get that. I think I have a better chance of Ware going up against the Jets, getting me some points. So that's like my only kind of like decision that I'm going back and forth. Like, should I play Ware and bench McCoy? Because I'm gonna still stick with Murray. Murray's getting a lot of touches. He's getting a lot of touches per game. I'm not gonna bench Williams because Williams just been doing it all these first couple of weeks for me. So
yeah. My other concern is tight end because I got Jared Cook who hasn't done anything, and I was gonna pick up Tammy, but Trap Stars already picked him up. So
yeah, and
I might just.
I saw somewhere they had Gates questionable, but I mean, knowing Gates, he's tough as nails. He every time when I see him having a Q next to his name, he always play anyway. So and I don't have no backup tight end. I haven't even picked up nobody. So I'm gonna keep an eye on.
Yeah, I got some options, so I'm not worried about Cook. If I feel threatened, I can make that move. So
if Gates just don't happen to not go, I don't have no option because I don't got no backup. So I'm gonna have to like pick somebody up from the waiver. But other than that, man, this is gonna be interesting. Rivers been hot lately, man. Rivers been playing good. And Indianapolis defense is not the best, so I can definitely see him having a field day up on that. And I think Brown is going to abuse Philadelphia. After him having a bad week last week, I think Brown is going to abuse Philadelphia cornerbacks. Abuse. I feel good about that. And I feel good about Landry going against Cleveland. I feel good about that too. So some of my matchups, yeah, DeAndre Williams. I feel good with some of my matchups going into this week against him.
All right, so word on the street is that Delaney Walker, there's some concern about him playing this week.
Damn. And just think.
Get a backup. Cutler is out for a couple of weeks. So that may impact Alshon Jeffrey. It definitely is going to impact Kevin White, who a lot of people are dropping in leagues as well. McCown is out for at least a game. So Cleveland, fantasy options. Hopefully you don't have to play any. But yeah, so you probably want to stay away from that. Chris Ivory is back in practice.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad.
Yep. Jacquizz Rodgers is a guy you guys probably want to keep an eye on in case something happens with Sims. So, he's the backup to him. Now, he hasn't – I think they just signed him off the practice squad, so he doesn't really know the offensive sets and stuff like that. But you definitely want to make sure you keep an eye on him because anything can happen. Let's see. Jordan Howard. Monitor the Chicago Bear running back situation. Jordan Howard went from third string to getting some touches, basically second string, because Kadeem Carey got hurt in the game Monday night. And they're not too happy with Jeremy Langford, which I have on some teams. So you want to keep an eye on that. Sanu didn't practice. Willie Snead didn't practice today. So just make sure you just follow up with that on Friday to see what's the latest with that. Jimmy Graham was a full practice. I think he's going to be a factor later on this year, B.
You think so?
Because if you look at Russell Wilson, outside of Doug Baldwin, he ain't really got anybody to throw to. Tyler Lockett made some plays, but they need him to step up. And Jermaine Kearse hasn't really been doing much of anything.
Yeah, I know.
I think he could be the guy.
We shall see, man. It's gonna be interesting. I love it. I love it and I hate it, man, because I hate all the different emotions that you have going in week to week about fantasy football, man. It's like crazy, man. And I don't know about you, but every week while the game's going on, I don't start looking at my phone until like those 4 o'clock games are almost over. Like I'm not sitting there at 1:15, 1:30, 2:30, 3:30 looking at my phone, looking at the scores. Usually once once those 4 o'clock games get into like the third and fourth quarters, I'll be like, okay, then I'll be like, okay, let me go ahead and look at these scores, see how everything's looking. I look at my players first. I don't even look like at the scores. I look and see what my players did. Like, okay, cool. I'll be like, okay, they doing good. I should be winning. And then you know me, when I look at the scores, I'll be like, cool, I'm winning. Or I'll be like, damn, I'm still losing because somebody else balling out on the other team. But yeah, I don't look at my scores until when them games are almost over, man. I can't just sit there and keep checking because that'll run me crazy.
Yeah, somebody just asked us in a PPR league, Decker or Marvin Jones. And the thing about that one, and then I'll toss it to you. Marvin Jones and Stafford look like they're in sync. Yeah. Like he's looking to him, and Tate can't do anything right now. Yep. He's getting targets, but he's not catching the ball or doing much with it. Decker's shoulder is hurt, but he's going to play. And Decker has been getting work as well. So you got and they have actually a 3-headed monster now.
Yep.
In Marshall, Decker, and Anumawa. I can't say his name.
Yeah.
Who do you think, B? What do you think, Decker or Marvin Jones?
I'm going with Jones just off the simple fact that he's 100%, and just like you said, him and Matt, he's a bigger target too. That's why I think that's why Matthew Stafford likes him, because he's a bigger target than Golden Tate. So I would say go with that. Go with that pick. But and then plus, Green Bay, let's be real now. Green Bay secondary is not like all that tough. It's not like you got to worry about some shutdown corners. So I can definitely see, Marvin Jones getting some work, getting because Matthew Stafford's going. I think he targeted him the most the last. I think with the total of 2 weeks, I think he got the most targets as far as the wideout. So yeah, man, I say stick with Marvin Jones.
Yeah, Decker has 15 targets this season, and Marvin Jones has 21 targets and 12 receptions. Decker has 8 receptions. So, Marvin Jones is definitely right now, based on what we're looking at and based on what we've seen, sounds like the better option because they have a now. So I think I would like Marvin Jones there. And they're playing Green Bay. You're right. The secondary is iffy, and they can be got. Let's see. Let me look at who's and the Jets are playing Kansas City. So I like Jones. I like Jones too. All right. Who's on your what up though list?
All right, so my what up though list. Jesus Christ. This one of these guys was on my team. So Antonio Brown and the guy I was going against that had AJ Green. Antonio Brown and AJ Green both on my what up though list. AJ Green only 2 receptions for 38 yards. Oh, 4 points. That hurts. Allen Robinson, another one. 3 receptions, 54 yards, only 5 points. That's a guy that's going early second round, late first, and he's doing this type numbers for you. That's not good. Carlos Hyde only gave you if you had him, had a fumble loss, only 18 reception yards, 34 yards, only 3.5 points. That's not good. Todd Gurley, another one. This is the dude that's going top 5. I don't know what's going on out there in the Rams, the offense in funk, but he only put up 7 points. That's not very Todd Gurley-ish. You want Todd Gurley to give you at least 15 points. Anywhere between 12 to 15 points a week for someone that you're drafting that high. Eddie Lacy. Eddie Lacy only had 50 rushing yards, only 5 points. That's really not a lot for someone that's being drafted really high in draft stock. That's not really good. That's not looking good for you, brother. So and another one I had T.Y. Hilton. I don't know what's going on with him and Luck. I don't know what's the problem. Only 4.5.
Well, they played Denver though, B.
Yeah, but they were still throwing a lot though. You would have thought Hilton would have got some love, but he didn't get no love. Another guy, I'm pretty sure a lot of people had starting and do nothing. Thomas Rawls, 15. Huh? What'd you say?
No, I said yeah. He
Thomas
was terrible.
About 1 point he pretty much gave you for that week. Another guy, Doug Baldwin. He when Russell Wilson was looking for him the first week, people thought they struck gold. Only gave you 3 receptions for 20 yards. That's nothing. That's bad. You don't want that. And last but definitely not least, we might have to drop this defense or something, Ken. Oakland's defense putting up negative numbers, man. Negative.
Yeah, that was your call.
Look, we had to pick between. It was like a grenade toss. Like I don't know, but I don't know. We might have to. Oakland defense, man. Depending on how your scoring go, I saw them give people as many as like -2, and I saw like -0.50. 1.25, -1.25. So Oakland's defense is bad when they giving you negative points. It's taken away from your freaking total. So yes, those are my list, my what up those, and oh God, it was awful.
All right, cool. Let's do panic. Don't panic.
Panic, don't panic.
And,
I love
it. All right.
Who's you panic? Who's the panic? Who's you pushing the panic button on, Ken?
The guy we already talked about. I'm gonna start out easy. Sammy Watkins, man. His health may really be an issue. 2 catches for 20 yards. He didn't even finish the game. They're saying he may not play this week. Is it time to panic?
For who? Who is it again?
Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, Ken, you got to panic, man. You got to panic. You got to panic.
Oh, no.
You gotta panic, man. Time to panic. Time to panic. Because he got he got an injury that can be very nagging, Ken. He does. And it can mess it up. It can mess up the flow of the season. So I don't know, Ken. You might have to panic. You might have to panic a little bit, man. I'm sorry. You had to panic.
All right. Michael Floyd. hasn't played really well. Along with John Brown, who's been terrible, who's actually Jerome Brown has had more catches than him. I've actually dropped John Brown, but Michael Floyd had 8 yards and a touchdown last week, but he was pretty horrible. Is it time to panic or don't panic on Michael Floyd?
No, I won't say don't panic yet. Just only the simple fact that you still got Carson Palmer throwing the ball for you, and you still have other wideouts that can help you get looks. You know what I'm saying? So let's not panic. Let's not panic yet. I say don't panic on him yet.
All right. Allen Robertson hasn't been all that good, B. People were drafting him in the first and second round, and looking at his game log, yeah, he had 72 yards on 15 targets in the first game, but 54 yards on 5 targets in the second game. And overall, their team hasn't looked good. They haven't been really putting up the numbers that they put up last year. Are you concerned? Panic or no? Don't panic.
Oh man, this one is actually kind of tough because even Blake Bortles is not looking like the Blake Bortles of last year as of right now. I mean, I don't. If Blake Bortles gonna still look like this, I would say panic. But man, he's their guy. Like it's hard to say panic on your number one guy. And I'm willing to be nice and give Allen Robinson 2 more weeks before to know if I'm by week. What's this? By week 5, if he's still giving me, 50 reception yards and no touchdowns and stuff like that, then I would say panic. But I don't know. I and maybe because I'm being nice, I just feel like something got to click with them. Because they made it work last year. Or I don't know if defenses are finally keying into them now, but. I won't say panic on him yet, but it's not looking good though. It's really not.
Yeah. Thomas Rawls, man, 7 carries for negative. 7 carries for negative 7 yards. He's been terrible. Panic or don't panic. He's been hurt, but he hasn't looked good when he's been in the game.
You know what? I completely
Thomas Rawls.
I forgot about you. If you didn't say the word he's hurt, I would have said panic. I think well, you know what? Yeah, panic. Because if you're a fantasy owner, you should be worrying about, should I still play this guy who I should be dependent on from week to week basis? I think at this point if I got Thomas Rawls, I'm looking at other options at the running back position. If that's me, if he's on my team, if I drafted him. So yeah, I would say panic. I would say I got to make a move. I got to do something.
As a Thomas Rawls owner, I can tell you, and especially if I don't have Christian Michael as the backup. Yeah, I'm a little concerned. I'm a little concerned.
Yep.
All right, so let's see who we got here. Who else has been pretty bad? I'm trying to go through some of my teams and see, because I got some of everybody, somewhere everywhere. We have this guy. I'm gonna toss him back out here. Again, he got the looks. He didn't quite put up the production. Kobe Fleener.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna panic because they throw the ball a lot, and like you said, Breeze was getting to him. He just couldn't make it happen. I don't know what's going on with Fleener, man. I don't know why, but I'm not panicking on Fleener yet, man.
So you're gonna play the long-term game on him, all right?
Yeah, I'm playing the long-term game on him.
Okay, all right. Jeremy Langford. The only thing that saved him the first 2 weeks are touchdowns. They haven't talked glowingly about him. He's still getting the bulk of the work. Production, he hasn't been really effective with the work. If you're an owner, are you panicking or not panicking on him? And then I think I got one more.
I'm not panicking just for the simple fact that he's getting the work. And you're right, he hasn't been effective, and I haven't seen anything about Langford being benched or possibly being benched. So I'm gonna still play him because he's like you said, he's getting the touches. He's getting plenty of touches. He's getting a lot of that. So he just got to start doing something with those touches.
Yeah. You know what? I was gonna throw Latavius Murray in there, but only because of the news that and the amount of touches he got. But he's so far been effective. He's on the radar so far, so I'm gonna keep an eye out for him. Guy another before I put him on the list, and really it's Todd Gurley. So we're gonna give him another week before we put him on the list and see what he's working with.
Yeah.
I think I know I'm missing somebody, but I think that's who I got so far. You know what? Yeah. Because the other people I have are just hurt, so we're gonna spare them the shame. Do you got anybody that you're kind of concerned about?
Well, that's on my team, or you just mean just in fantasy football?
Just kind of in general. Just.
I would say, and I'm just looking at it from how high this guy would have been drafted at is Todd Gurley. I mean, if I'm actually I am a Todd Gurley, and I got him in the NFL.com league, the one that 12 Collins, the commissioner. I got Todd. That's the league. Oh my God, I'm 0-2 in that league. I'm bad in that. That's bad. But yeah, Todd Gurley, I'm concerned, man, because I don't know what's going on with out there in the Rams. They just don't seem like they're in sync out there. Like they can't find a quarterback. They don't know what they want to be offensively. I don't know. As a Todd Gurley owner, I'm concerned, man. And it's like, should I maybe look to try to experiment? Because when you're 0-2, you kind of start to maybe want to experiment, especially if I go down 0-3. I'm like, man, I might have to start experimenting with some lineups of trying to make some trades or something like that and seeing what's going on. But as a Todd Gurley owner, and I'm really throwing him out there because this is a guy that was like top 5 guaranteed pick. If you was in that top 5 that was drafted in the first round, Todd Gurley was gone. If you had the 7th or 8th pick and you wanted Todd Gurley, you can forget about it because he was gone by then. So this is people who are spending 2, 3, 4, and 5th picks. That's how early I saw him going was right after Antonio Brown. In some leagues, he was going right after Antonio Brown. And you spent the 2nd overall pick on Todd Gurley, and this is what he's doing for you this far. That's concern. That's a concern for me, man. That is concern. So yeah, that is a player. That's one player I'm throwing out that if I want to think about concern, it's him because you got him so high.
Yeah. That's why, That's why I was like, I think I'm going to wait. Let me mute this tab. I'm going to wait a week before I look at it because I think that situation, at some point, they're going to have to put Goff in, and I think he can help turn things around. I just don't think they're scared of Keenum. But anyway, here are the 2 guys. I knew it was somebody I was leaving off. All right. These are good, too. First up, Eddie Lacy. Panic or don't panic?
Eddie Lacy.
I'll give you his game log. 14 carries, 61 rushing yards. In game 1, 7 points, 1 reception for 17 yards. Game 2, 12 rushing attempts for 50 yards. 5 points.
Man. And see, they quarterback situation is what makes it kind of intriguing because it's not like they got a sorry quarterback. I'll probably say panic, man. I don't think he's living up to the bill, man. I don't know. I've always, you know how I've been. I always wasn't like on Eddie Lacy like that. Like, I don't know about that cat. I don't know.
All right. Here's the last one. Mark Ingram. 12 rushing, first game 1. 12 rushing attempts, 58 yards, 2 receptions for 29 yards. He has 7 points. Game 2, 9 rushing attempts for 30 yards, 4 receptions for 17 yards, 4 points. He hasn't looked good, and he hasn't really looked that involved in the games that I've seen.
I say panic because
Panic.
Breeze is only going to Sneeze and Cooks and what's the other wideout that's out there? Breeze throwing it to them wide.
Cadet.
Yeah.
And he throws Cadet a lot.
Yeah, but Breeze only seemed to be going to those 3 guys a lot. And he's throwing it at Fleener a lot. Fleener just not being effective. But, yeah, I would say panic, man. That was another running back going into the fantasy season. I've never been high on either. I'm like, I don't know. I never trust running backs that's playing behind Drew Brees because Drew Brees seemed to get pass happy. So I never trust Saints running backs.
All right. Well, we know the game is on, so we're going to let you guys get to it. Those that are still here, if you have Amir Abdullah or you're looking for somebody to replace Stewart or Peterson, and you didn't get Sims or you didn't get McKinnon, then look at Dwayne Washington out of Detroit. If you have Foster, if you're a Foster owner, if you didn't get Jay Ajayi, or look at Drake. If you didn't get Fuzzy Whitaker, you can look at Cameron Artis-Payne. They are saying that he may get the bulk of the work. Whitaker because he had 100 yards on 16 carries. Cameron Artis-Payne may be the guy you guys want to own. So you want to look at him. If he's out there, snatch him up. If you have a running back that's hurt, and Asiata, get him because he may get goal line work. So he'll be touchdown dependent. Snatch up Alfred Morris. Do it now if he's out there. Also, get Andre Washington if he's out there. People are dropping people left and right. If Avery is out there, get him. Pick him up. And last but not least, Jordan Howard. Trust me on this. Pick him up. That situation in Chicago is iffy right now. So you definitely want to go ahead and snatch him up and before somebody else get him if you got a roster spot. And that's it, man. So we are out. B has his internet back, so we're gonna be back for you guys
Wednesday. Yes.
Yep. Oh my goodness. I almost forgot, B. Donte Moncrief is out for about a month.
Yep, I saw that.
So Corey Coleman. Pick up Philip Dorsett. He's out there. Go grab him to replace Moncrief. There are plenty of receivers, but if you can get Dorsett, snatch him up and get him if you can before everybody else does, because you're gonna need him. And that's it. So we're gonna call it a week, and we're gonna go watch the game, and I gotta go deal with kids and eat some food. It's been a long day. Until next time. Oh, let me check and make sure there's no questions. All right, so no questions. All right, cool. So anyway, guys, we will catch you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.